She's Ernestine from New York. I'm Skip from Oklahoma City. This is Hazel from Burbank, California. And welcome to Skip versus Ernestine. This is round 14.
Wow.
Refereed as always by the warrior princess.
Hazel.
Hazel.
Not me.
Yeah,
I'm in it.
Licking my hand as usual.
Liquor.
Okay, we will get to all of your sensational questions and comments, and we do appreciate them.
We do.
They're very funny, clever, inspired. We'll get to those in just a few minutes. But first up, in honor of Sunday night's Oscars, our story about a complete unknown, which I guess was a complete unknown to a lot of the voters because we thought it might win something, at least Best Actor.
Timothy.
Okay.
Should have won. Should have
So
won.
everybody had been telling us for weeks, got to watch A Complete Unknown. So Saturday night, we finally did for $24.99 on Amazon Prime. It's the story, if you don't know, of the rock and roll legend, one that I don't love.
I love.
Bob Dylan, played by an actor you didn't love before you saw the movie.
Well, I did like him. I liked him. I liked him.
We have
Woody
revisionist
Allen's,
history already on this.
No, Woody Allen's Rainy Day in New York, which I loved him in.
He's good.
And he was in the Willy Wonka. But now I love him to pieces because he is just unbelievable. He brought Bob Dylan to life.
All right. So the movie did not win. It was down low in the odds. I thought it had no chance. But I did think Timothy had a shot because he did become Bob Dylan and he did invest 5.5 years of his life, of his body and his soul into that part.
It's incredible.
And yet, here's my problem with the movie and the premise of the movie.
Oh, now you have a problem with the movie? I thought you liked the movie.
I don't love Bob Dylan, but I've told you from day one. No, well, it's not a different problem because I think some of the voters, certainly the younger voters, they don't care about Bob Dylan. So they're like,
not care about Bob Dylan?
Why
He's
would you invest
iconic.
5.5 years in a character that's not very compelling because he mumbles through the whole movie. Timothy has no choice but to mumble because Bob Dylan just,
Bob Dylan is an icon.
I know, but half the time you sat up on the edge of your seat saying, what did he just say?
Well, but that was how he was portraying him because that's what Bob is like. But Bob Dylan is an icon.
All right,
it's like saying, I don't know, George Washington, he was just a president.
Okay.
I mean,
he's
my problem. Iconic.
My problem is I never liked Bob Dylan as a singer because he can't sing.
But he's not supposed to be Steve Perry. He's just he has a voice to his own. People know who Steve Perry is, I'm sure. Steve Perry is the best singer next to, in my opinion, Sinatra. Okay, there's Sinatra, there's Steve Perry. But Bob Dylan is not supposed to be the best singer in the world, but he's a poet. He only won a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, seriously, how can you say that this man is not
just
iconic?
Overrated as a singer because I did like a Rolling Stone and positively 4th Street. There are a few songs that I like, but there'd be songs that they played in the movie that Timothy actually learned to play the guitar and the harmonica and sing. He sang every last word to every song.
24 songs that
and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He sang better than Bob Dylan sang on the records.
He has a really great voice, Timothy, but Bob is not known for his great voice. He's known for his lyrics, and he's known for being Bob Dylan. And if you know anything about music, Bob Dylan was at the forefront in the 60s to lead.
Okay, so like a Rolling Stone is the ultimate mad at a girl song, a breakup song.
I don't even care about like a Rolling Stone.
But it's well written. It's cleverly written.
Blood on the Tracks, one of the best albums ever that existed. Every track, you should listen to it. It's amazing. But Bob Dylan with the band, Robbie Robertson, the band. Scorsese only did a documentary on the band, The Last Waltz.
I dare you to go read the words to Mr. Tambourine Man, which he wrote, and then the Byrds made a hit out of it. But go read the words. It's gibberish.
It's not about the words only.
It's just nonsensical. It's just.
I don't get that deep.
It's just a bunch of clever words together that don't make any sense.
Whatever.
Okay.
Listen, I love Bob Dylan. Nobody's ever going to tell me I can't love Bob Dylan. I think Timothée Chalamet did an amazing job. He should have won. He invested 5.5 years of his life. The director should have won, but they got snubbed. as a lot of movies do and actors do. So
the problem with Dylan is he was kind of a nasty bad guy. And what does Joan Baez say to him in the movie? You're an asshole. Well,
so what? That's
he can be, and I think he was. But he was
against the grain.
He was a mad genius, but he was mad at the world, and his character, it has little redeeming value to it. So I get because you love Dylan, so then all of a sudden you love Timothy as Dylan.
Well, no one could ever portray him better than what Timothy did, in my opinion.
Okay, I mean, I would agree.
His son Jacob looks like him, but I'm sure that he couldn't play him. He doesn't have that range of what Timothy has.
Okay.
So, but most people that are geniuses and icons, they're against the grain. They have to be against the grain in what they do. They're not a follower, they're a leader.
I agree, but it didn't make for a compelling movie for those who don't know and idolize Dylan.
You're putting this movie up against other movies about the Holocaust. You can't put a Bob Dylan biopic against a Holocaust
movie. The brutalist
movie.
had a Holocaust survivor who comes to America and struggles. Okay.
It's so not right. I mean, if you had this movie at the Grammys and they were giving out awards for movies at the Grammys, it would win hands down.
Okay. And he did win.
He won the SAG Award.
The SAG Award. Timothy won for Best Actor.
Yeah, which was a surprise.
But he didn't win Golden Globe. And there had been 3 straight SAG Award winners who won Best Actor at the Academy Awards, but they had also won the Golden Globe. So he wasn't like sweeping along toward.
No, he wasn't.
And yet I was rooting for him too, because if you have watched it or you are going to watch it, we do recommend it. It's really good. And I give it the watch test, as in wristwatch test. And if I don't look at my watch during the movie, it's flying. And I didn't look at my watch one time because it flies. It's tight, and it's only 4 years of Dylan's life, from 61 to 65. He goes from being a complete unknown, which is a line from Like a Rolling Stone about his girl and that he broke up with. Right. And he goes from 61 to 65, where he becomes a rock and roll legend.
Those were the Greenwich Village years that he became who he ended up being, and the start of him. But.
Okay, so we're hoping against hope for him to at least win Best Actor, if not have an upset and this to win Best Movie.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
But then Honora wins, and we have not seen Honora, and we were a little shocked. We have friends who've seen it who liked it a lot. I read the Rotten Tomatoes, and it was 93% positive.
I can't comment. I didn't see it.
Okay.
I mean, in the beginning, I didn't like Timothy. Here we go again.
It seems like we've done 4 or 5 years in a row off the Academy Awards where the Hollywood elite are picking a movie where they're saying, indie, low budget, we discovered it and you don't even know what it is, but we love this movie. And we get it sort of forced down our throats. Not that it's not very good. I saw Greta Gerwig had a lot of good things to say about it at Cannes. Okay, but whatever. But
I don't know.
But you were crushed because...
I'm disillusioned with the Oscars. I'm sorry. Yeah. To me, it's not what it used to be. And I'm not talking about 50 years ago. But back in the day, the Oscars were really about the filmmaking and the art. And now it's just become more of a celebrity. It's become where the world just cares about who's sitting there and who's to be seen. It's not about the actual movies anymore.
Okay.
It's sad.
And yet...
I did agree with what he said, the director who won. People should go back to the movies and watch movies and movies.
Yeah, in the theaters.
In the theater.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Okay, but again, this is just me. This is what I do in my world, is every once in a while I step back and try to tell people, wait a second, this isn't the truth. Well, Bob Dylan wasn't the truth as a singer, and it amazes me how iconic he became for a guy who just can't. He has a whiny voice.
But he has a style.
Yeah.
It's his style.
Yeah.
Who's to say what's right or wrong in style? That's his style, but he's a poet. It's a whole different...
Yeah. Well,
you're in a different world.
I worked with a guy at one point in Dallas and then in Chicago who named his firstborn son Dylan after Bob Dylan. He and his wife were just like they'd seen Dylan 20 times.
Why would Scorsese do a documentary called The Last Waltz on Bob Dylan and the band. The band is iconic. If you don't know it, go watch it. There's a reason why.
But it's like me and LeBron James, where I step back and say, wait, you're saying he's better than Jordan and he can't shoot.
We're bringing LeBron
he can't
James
shoot until the last couple of years. Okay, but it's the same phenomenon of, wait a second. He can't sing and he can't shoot. And he's the GOAT and he's iconic.
Yeah, but LeBron can play basketball. What? LeBron is a wonderful basketball player. He's talented. But so is Dylan. He's a talented songwriter / singer. Not every songwriter is a great singer.
Yeah. So the one thing that did strike me about watching Dylan's rise was one great thing about him, even though he smoked to excess, because they said he was smoking 30 packs a day.
Yeah.
And he drank, but
he didn't
get into drugs. So we've seen so many of these icons, Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison, that they fall to drugs. And we saw the Sly Stone documentary the other night. It's just amazing. But he had drug issues that took him down because he couldn't figure out how to keep making hits when the public is saying, you're good. You made your hits. We just want you to come tour the world and play your hits, and we'll be happy.
Cope with the fame.
Yeah.
He couldn't cope with the
fame.
And Bob Dylan
is still coping because he's still touring.
But he's removed himself. He doesn't care, as in the documentary the biopic that you watch. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care what people
think.
So
Hazel, Bob Dylan overrated?
She loves Bob Dylan. She loves Bob Dylan. She's going to listen to all his albums later. Blood on the Track's her favorite.
She leaves blood on her tracks wherever she goes. She'll tear your leg off. We're going to get to her in just a moment. Okay, first question from Zoe from Sarasota, Florida. We once went to
a wedding. That's where the Barnum Bailey Ringling Circus originated.
It originated. Okay. So Zoe says, we know you're both very strict in your diet, but do you ever allow yourself to have a cheat day or a cheat meal, and your weekly slice of pizza doesn't count as a cheat meal? Okay, you first.
I do. I used to do my favorite thing. I even think before I knew you, maybe during, I don't remember. I used to love to go to the movies, even if I didn't go to the movies to see the movie theater on 59th and 3rd across from Bloomingdale's.
New York City.
They made really good popcorn. So I would go in the afternoon and I'd bring a shopping bag and I'd buy a large popcorn and I would take it home. And when I don't drink anymore, but I would eat that for dinner and I'd open up a bottle of champagne.
Well, you don't do this anymore.
No, I don't do this anymore. Well, it's not an old time, but I mean, I did it for years. I did it when I used to spend time in Hawaii. I did the same exact thing. And I would even take the popcorn on the plane and eat it on the plane for my dinner.
It's a good idea.
So
lately, you ate popcorn for
and
dinner.
Champagne. Popcorn and champagne was my treat.
I've never seen this from her one time in almost 20 years.
No, I haven't done this in a long time.
Okay.
I think about it sometimes, but I don't drink anymore. So that
good for you.
The fun of that with it worked with the champagne because the champagne is great with the salty popcorn from the movie theater. The best.
I hope you're not now tempted to start sipping champagne and eating.
Only if things get
popcorn.
Bad. Yeah. Lately, I haven't done the cheat. Maybe I'll have for dinner. I never really do sweets. Oh, you know what? I take it back. When I go to the Go Greek, which is a yogurt store in Beverly Hills, which is it's not the best yogurt, but there's not really good yogurt here like there is in New York,
of course. You just ripped Go Greek?
It's okay. All the flavors taste the same. But, I mean, Tasty Delight in New York City, which you can attest, was the best. That was even featured in Sex and the City. It was a big they had like 100 different flavors that you can go in. You can get Nutella, you can get graham cracker, you can get anything. So I go to Go Greek. It's not that great. But I do put chocolate shavings. They have you put your own toppings. I do the chocolate shavings and yogurt covered pretzels, mini pretzels. I put them in my yogurt.
Okay.
That's a cheat to me.
Semi-cheat.
It's a cheat because I don't usually eat chocolate.
No, you don't. Okay. Here's the rare beauty to our relationship when it comes to food, that she doesn't cook. So I have to sort of fend for myself, which is fine with me. And she fends for herself, which is also fine with me.
I'm not the housewife from the 1950s that I have to go
and yet,
cook.
What have I told you? What? Millions of housewives in this country over many years have put
girlfriends
have put their husbands or boyfriends in early graves by feeding them what they want to a fault.
Well, it's kind of a love thing. No, it's like, oh, I'm going to, I know he likes, macaroni and cheese. I'm going to make you macaroni and cheese. And then you think the guy is going to like you or love you.
But with my mother and grandmother, they cooked with sugar and they fried and they did all the bad things because they wanted the men to say, oh, this is the best I've ever had.
But there's a famous chicken recipe. I think it's called, everybody out there would know. I think it's called like engagement chicken or wedding chicken, where they make the chicken and it's in a can. And it's supposed to, if you make this chicken and you give it to the guy, then he'll ask you to marry him.
Never heard of this.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember if it's engagement or wedding chicken.
Me.
Yeah, right.
I remember that one night you said I'm cooking chicken. The only thing
I made one, I don't even think I ever made a chicken in my life. I made you a tuna sandwich.
I remember that.
Oh, you told me, this is the best tuna in the world. All I did was open a can of tuna. I put mustard in it because I like mustard.
Because mayonnaise won't work.
No, I don't eat mayonnaise.
It's bad for you.
I did grainy mustard.
Okay.
And then I gave it to you. And then you said, wow, this tuna is really good.
Will you marry me?
Yeah, will you marry me? Yeah, tuna in a can. That was it. But anyway.
So we
don't eat the same.
We don't eat together but separate because I make sure I have my chicken
you eat chicken and turkey.
And broccoli and rice.
I don't
brown rice.
I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat chicken or turkey.
Yeah, so she fixes her own things.
Yeah.
She, to her credit, she always fixes mine first. But to fix, I'm talking about the microwave because we only have one microwave. And she always says, well,
I have an oven, but in the city, when I lived in New York, I used to use my oven, which people can relate to that live in New York. I used it for my handbags and my belts and my shoes. That's what a lot of people do because you have a space in New York. You have a studio or one bedroom. Yeah. So I only used it for my accessories. I never cooked. We came here. I still don't cook. I keep my garbage bags in the oven and I keep my shopping bags in the oven.
All right. So
the oven has never been used.
Okay. And that's fine. I didn't pick you because you were a cook.
No, you didn't pick me at all.
You hate that.
No, don't ever
I didn't
say
choose
pick
you.
Me.
I didn't.
No, you didn't
gravitate to you.
Connect with me.
I didn't connect with you because you were a cook.
Pick me.
Because I came from a long line of cooks. My brother is a famous chef. And everybody in my family and extended family cook, except me. I couldn't boil water. I didn't know how to use the microwave. No. So my mother left things for me in the oven.
You were a latchkey kid.
Yeah, I was.
Kid.
She would. We owned this little hole-in-the-wall barbecue restaurant, so she would leave in the evenings ribs and potato salad and coleslaw for me.
Yeah, the fixings.
Yeah, the ribs would be in the oven on low.
Yeah.
And I would come in from baseball practice, and there would be my dinner. So I ate 9 million ribs growing up, which is why I still haven't had one rib since I left Oklahoma City. Yeah. At age 18. But the point is, on cheat meals, I really like what I eat and I enjoy what I eat.
You like what you eat. I mean, my mother was a fabulous cook. My father, being Italian, believed in my mother cooking. My mother being Jewish, we did not go out. We weren't a family that we went out and we ate out in restaurants because my father always believed you can get better food at home and you know what you're cooking. Because how many times, look, we went out to dinner a couple of weeks ago. I had salmon. And I had crab cake. I had crab appetizer, crab cocktail appetizer. And that night when we got home, remember, I was sick. And I was sick the next day.
I know, it made you sick.
I think
because you don't eat that.
Well, the fish was, no, I do eat fish, but the fish may have been bad.
Okay.
But my mom cooked every meal homemade from scratch.
So back to Zoe.
But I don't care about that.
Yeah, okay. So
I can bake, but I don't
cheat
bake anymore.
meals, I mean, we eat frozen yogurt from...
Yeah, from the whatever place it's called. What is it called? Big Chill.
Big Chill, from Big Chill. It's a famous, legendary place on Olympic Boulevard, not far from where we live.
Everything tastes the same there,
okay,
too. But
we have that for quote-unquote dessert. But I feel like every meal is a cheat meal because I actually like what I eat. And you can retrain your taste buds to actually like
Yeah, but they're saying cheat meal as in, do you like me? I whenever I have to go Greek, I'll do the chocolate shaving. So that's like a cheat.
Because I'm so obsessive compulsive, if I actually did a whole cheat meal where I just went crazy and pigged out and ate crap, ate fried and sugar and dairy and all the things, high fat, high calorie, I would fear I would go back over the edge and start pigging out regularly.
Like the other day when I went to the grocery store, the little girls were selling Girl Scout cookies outside. And I felt bad, so I bought 2 boxes.
Oh, you did? You didn't tell me.
But I gave them to the security guards.
Good.
Because
smart.
What am I going to do? I'm going to come home, I'm going to eat one, and then I'm very obsessive compulsive. I either love you or hate you. I eat one cookie, I eat the whole box. What am I going to do? I'm going to open up, eat one, and then I know it's in the cabinet. It like calls my name, and so then I'll go in and I'll eat the rest of the cookies. So I don't tempt myself.
Okay. Next topic. Now that it's basketball season, Ernestine is watching quite a few more games with me.
I watch a lot of games.
Okay, but quite a few. Okay, but you don't like football, but you do.
No, I don't like football at all.
NBA basketball, not college.
I like basketball. I do. I don't like college. No.
Okay, and she always amazes me with some of her outside the box or maybe off the planet observations that just come out of left field. She just sort of blurts it out, and she's constantly pointing out to me how often Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic get scratched up.
The other
night, they're just like scratched up. They got long red marks,
and he got
scratched on the face.
Cheeks, scratches.
He had 2 long scratches on his face.
And when Gasol used to play, he was always broken out with rashes on his arms. It amazes me. That's the one
Joker.
Joker, Denver, he's
just scratched up.
He's got I don't know what they do to him.
Okay, but I tried to tell you.
And then when Garnett used to play, who I used to love, the Celtics.
Yeah.
He sweated the most I've ever seen anybody sweat.
Did? Okay, I got it.
I don't know how you don't see this when you're watching the game.
That the white guys show red a little bit more than the black guys.
But Garnett, I could see the sweat. I mean,
maybe like Joker is so ghost white and Luka's just ghostly white also. Maybe they get a little scratch and it glares
had
red.
A cut the other night. They had to come over and they had to fix him. I don't understand. Where are they getting these cuts from? And why are they breaking out?
They just get raked with fingernails, like.
God, it's terrible.
It's a physical game. You said the other night it's more physical than people give it credit for.
I mean, I think it's not as violent as football, but I think that these guys, when they tumble over, I mean, the other guy, I can't remember who it was. Remember, he was trying to go for the ball and then he fell. Sometimes they hit into the first row and they're hitting into the barriers.
I've watched so many games lately. It seems like they fall all the time.
Yeah, but he did like a tumble salt.
He did.
Like,
and that it is called the hardwood for a reason. Yeah. It's a hard wooden floor.
I don't know. I feel like, wow, they need pads.
Well, some of them wear knee pads.
Yeah, they wear the knee pads, but their arms, they don't have helmets on their head.
No.
It's a very, anyway.
It's a rough game.
I think it is. And the other thing I said to you the other night, we were watching the Lakers game, it is amazing to me how these guys run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it is exhausting. And I run every day. I do a bike or the treadmill like you. And I walk to Beverly, and I'm a big walker.
She's a power walker.
I can walk 5 to 7 miles per day.
She's unbelievable.
And I don't walk fast, I just walk. But these guys must run. If you clock them, they got to do 10 miles a night.
Yeah. They're not always running full out, flat out.
No, but still they're going from back, left, right, left, right, left, right. And then they're running fast and they're running slow. That's a big workout.
Well, LeBron amazes me the most because he's 40 years of age and he looks like he's 25.
He looks incredible.
And he runs like he's 18.
He looks incredible.
Yeah.
And yet, when they talk, they're not even exhausted.
Okay, yet your pet peeve and now my pet peeve has become Steph Curry playing and shooting free throws with his mouth guard hanging out the side of his mouth.
I don't understand.
He's barely got a hold of the side of it, and it's just...
He's been doing it for years, and for years I've seen him do it. But why?
And it's kind of disgusting because it's just
gross. His spit is on it. It's like... I don't know. Why doesn't he put it in his mouth?
I don't know, because
Isn't
the point
it a mouth guard?
You're supposed to have it in your mouth. And the other night,
so weird.
Maybe remember he made 12 threes at Orlando the other night. Not the one you were watching, but the previous game. But he was still making some the other night, even though they lost without Jimmy Butler. But the point was that he was actually playing full speed with the thing hanging out of his mouth. Sometimes he just lets it dangle while he shoots free throws.
I'd love to know why. I don't know if it's a nervous thing.
Maybe it's a nervous tick.
I think it's a nerve thing.
Maybe he felt hotter with it hanging out, like it became a good luck charm.
I don't need to have
a good luck charm.
Good luck
like she can be the little Buddha for me during games.
So he doesn't put his mouth guard in. He needs a second mouth guard.
He felt hotter with it hanging out, like it just made him feel he's on a roll.
He's on a roll.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd love to know why he doesn't do that.
I don't know, but it's hard to watch.
But there are a couple of guys that have it hanging out, not as much as Steph.
Okay. Changing subjects, gears. You got a lot of great feedback last week after you talked about how much our 105-year-old neighbor Adele means to you.
Yeah.
You took it very hard when they had to call an ambulance for her. They took her in for a night, just one night at St. John's Hospital.
And then they released her, which I still don't understand. They released her at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have never seen a hospital release someone at 2 a.m. So that's a question, and I don't know.
The bad news turned into somewhat good news because they didn't keep her.
No, but then they sent her home hospice, which is not a good thing.
No.
That's not a good thing. So that means, that's not good things to come. So I don't know. Yeah. She's hanging on and hanging in. And then they gave her morphine, which was not good. But then the night that they brought her home, the next morning, the person who was there, she has 2 other people.
Ernestine keeps in touch with her caretakers.
Yeah. Said that she was out of control. She was yelling at everybody and she had all this energy. And we think maybe the morphine just jacked her up.
Yep.
And then she slowly came down. But as of last night, she's just hanging in.
Okay, but you're a good soul to comfort her, to give her the little joy that she may have in her life.
I love her a lot, and I don't care that she's 105. My pet peeve is when people say, when I talked about my mother going to another planet, and she was 91, and then somebody says, "Oh well, she lived a good life." I don't want to. Who are you to tell me that my mother lived a good life and she should not be here anymore? So I know that it's hard for people; they don't know what to say. But I don't like when somebody says, "Well, they're that old and they lived it." Who's this? Why are you the person that tells me they should not live anymore? So when I tell somebody she's 105, automatically she's lived a good life. I read about people that lived to 114. Somebody just died a week ago. I read in the paper, 114.
Okay, well, maybe Adele's got 10 good
Maybe,
years.
I'm hoping she does.
Yeah.
So nobody is the person to say when somebody should not be here anymore.
It's a tough subject.
Well, nobody should have the right to say, you've had a good life, now you should go. So.
Okay, this is from Donna from Wellington, New Zealand. Hello, Wellington.
Never been to
Donna
New Zealand.
says, on last week's episode, Ernestine, you talked about helping your sister find someone.
Yeah, mission.
Do you find any guilt that you found your person in Skip and she has yet to find someone?
I don't have guilt because depending upon the day, you're not always you're not always the great, Cracker Jack box prize.
Yeah,
so
right.
I don't have guilt. I just think that she's such a good person and she has great qualities. And I just wish that she could find somebody that she would connect with. And so I don't have guilt. I just am on a mission to help her find somebody.
Okay. So we both are down on dating sites because we don't really believe.
Because she's had bad experiences. And
she's had bad experiences impersonating her sister on the dating sites.
But I read them all because we're both on the same email, so we both see the responses.
Yeah.
But now she's off of them because they expired and she doesn't want to renew it again.
But we did receive huge reaction over our criticism of the dating sites and apps. A couple of examples. This one came from @UCarryAdams5515, who says, I met my toxic baby mama on a dating site, and she damn near destroyed my will to love and trust ever again.
Oh, that's sad.
I understand. I am with you. Obviously, you could meet your toxic baby mama anywhere
on the street, but it just so happens that gives you a bad taste in your mouth about the dating sites again.
Too many people on the sites are frauds. They're not just remotely what they
I can't tell you how many guys my sister and I have reported because there's a little section where you can report the person.
Oh, you reported them?
Oh, we report them all the time. Oh. They're either they look for money or they're not who they say they are. Or they say sexual things which are out of context. You don't want that.
Yeah.
And so we just hit report.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
It's great, but we can't wipe out the whole dating site.
Okay. And then we got another one from Just AQQ. This is, let me read the whole thing here. This is the first time watching Skip and Ernestine. How awesome this show is. I'm looking forward to segment 14 already. My first wife of 20 years died of breast cancer. I met my second wife on a dating app.
Oh, that's so nice.
We met and got married 6 weeks later.
Aww.
That was in 2019. We are still going strong.
That's so
okay,
great.
So obviously there are examples out there.
There are people. I know people that got married.
Clipped.
They got married on JDate. They got married from Match. I know people. I think it's just a spin of the wheel. And if you're lucky, you connect with somebody. And if you're not lucky, then you're like my sister who cannot connect with anybody.
Okay, and this lucky guy finishes.
Yeah.
She's 11 years younger, similar to our situation. I'm in my 50s. She's in her 40s. Ernestine, you are so great inside and out.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But I think that it's not...
pretty great.
Whatever.
Maybe not so great, but pretty great. I'll give you that.
But I just think that it's just a matter of luck and fate.
Okay. This is a question from Charlie from Pennsylvania, who asks, do you two believe we reunite with our beloved pets when it's our time? Meaning when we pass on to the next life, do we reconnect with them? And as I always say, not that I'm talking about Adele here, but in some cases, humans live too long when they're not really capable of living anymore.
Yeah.
And in many, many, many cases, these don't live long enough when they seem full of life and all of a sudden they're gone.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
She's 8, and I must admit, I had vowed after my last dog, which I inherited in a previous relationship and just fell head over heels for, named Dusty. After we lost Dusty, had to put her to sleep, it just destroyed me. And I said, I'm never going to do that again. As long as I live, I'm not going to do that again. Right. And then you told me 8 years ago, I'm getting a dog, whether you like it or not, and it's going to be my dog. Yeah. And who's holding the dog as we speak? She became
your dog.
Okay. She's still your dog, and she loves you to death. Yeah,
she loves me, but she loves you more. I think
loves
she
me
does.
Different.
Well, she does love you tons.
Okay, so now I know I've gone completely over the edge into not just puppy love, like real love, right? I mean, now I'm stuck with her where I'm so committed, and she does mean so much to me.
Get a room.
I know.
Hazel and Skip, get a room.
She always, when she likes me, she says, "Get a room."
Get a room.
All right. I know.
Well, I love her too, but dogs live to 20-something years old.
So if we could roll it now, maybe we've already rolled it, but you took some video the other day of me play fighting on the bed.
Well, she's a nut job
with Hazel, and she just goes crazy. And the reason she won my heart is she does have some boy in her, and I thought
made her a boy. Skip.
Okay, I didn't make her a boy.
You've turned her into a boy.
But
yes, you do. You want her to pee like a boy. You want her to play like a boy.
She hikes her leg. Okay,
she's a boy,
and she
you don't
learned
like that
as
she gets
a little
feathers
tiny
or
puppy in her first 6 months of life. She learned to play fight with me, and
it's not like she learned. You taught her.
No, but
it's not
I
like
mean,
she just started to say, "Oh, I want to play."
If you see the video that's now playing, she's going pretty crazy on the bed.
Because of you.
And she'll do it on the floor. She'll do it wherever.
Yeah.
She goes warrior princess crazy.
She's crazy.
But it amazes me. She's not one time bitten me where she brought blood.
No.
And I'm going pretty hard.
She's bitten me where she's...
No, but that's different. She wants you to stay. And
well,
so
if
she'll
I try
bite
to
your
walk
leg.
out of the room, she grabs my leg and she has made it black and blue. It's black and blue right now.
Yeah, and she'll break your skin. Okay. She doesn't do that to me.
She's very happy right now.
And she's very happy. She's very happy.
Very happy.
But the point is, I go hard at her and I'm slapping so hard, and she likes it. She's not, I think she's human, but she is a DOG. I never use that word around her. She's a canine.
Right. She's a Maltese.
She's a Maltese. And just one time, you would think she would lose track just for a second.
She knows not to do that.
Because I have seen her bite other humans, and she will bite.
Yeah, but
I've seen her go after other dogs, and she will snap.
Oh, she's a nut job, but we love her.
Okay, so I'm playing with her on the bed and just fighting, and not one time has she ever clamp bitten me, where she bites down and actually breaks my skin.
Sometimes she'll bite a little harder.
And her molars, her eye teeth,
she's got sharp
teeth. When she was a little baby and she still had her baby teeth, one time I was play fighting and I accidentally I accidentally stuck my finger on her tooth that was about to fall out, and it broke skin.
Right.
But she didn't mean it was my fault. Yeah, we did. But
okay, so my mom, when my sister did the shaman reading with Joseph, who we talked about a couple of episodes back, he told my sister, and he knew nothing about my family, he told my sister that he saw my mom with my dad and our dog Buttons, it was my dog, a Pomeranian. He saw them all together.
Okay.
And where would he get the dog out of? You're not going to Google and find.
So do I believe that we are reunited? With all my heart and soul, big yes on that. But am I already dreading losing her? And then I start thinking, well, there's no guarantee that I'm going to outlive her.
Why don't we not talk about that?
Okay. But you don't like to talk about that, but it's just the truth.
Well, okay. I mean, if we look out on the street right now, 125 years from right now, there will not be anybody who's on this planet right now. Okay. If you want to take it further. So
that's a fact.
Right. So let's just be in the moment.
There are days when I'm watching NFL football and she's asleep at my feet and I look down at her and she's so dedicated to me and so loyal. She will stay with me the whole day. We start out here at 10 a.m. in the morning.
She goes to 11
on
o'clock
NFL Sunday,
night.
And she'll go to 9 o'clock at night with me. Now she's getting a little bored, but I look down at her and I think she has meant so much to me as a companion. But you're my ultimate companion. But
I don't lay at your feet.
No, you don't lay at my feet.
I've watched enough football, but I'm not going to lay at your feet.
And you aren't like blindly dedicated.
No,
you can be.
No, enough is enough.
Right?
Me?
Yeah.
You can be the handful.
No, you can.
Only she can't do anything about it because you got her a little bit. She can't get in the car and leave.
No, she doesn't like the car at all.
No, she does like the car, but she wants to do remember on Saturday Night Live, Oogie, he would drive the car. She wants to get in the driver's seat and look out the window while I'm driving, and she wants to bark at everybody. So it's hard to get her. She likes the convertible car. She likes to go.
Unfortunately, like her mom, she has stolen my heart.
Well, there you go.
So I've got two who own my heart.
Okay.
And it scares me. And now I have to hang on to the thought that, hey, if she goes, I'll see her again.
It's not happening right now. So let's just move on to nicer things.
All right. This is a question from Samantha from Portland, Oregon. Get a lot of women right now. I wonder why that is.
Girl power.
Yeah.
Right.
If you could trade places with one person, who would it be and why? That's an interesting question for Ernestine.
Oh. Let's see.
Trade
places, as in become that person, I guess.
Yeah. Anybody in history.
Anybody in history. I know. I'm always torn between if I could start out again and God gave me a talent that I don't have now, I would either want to be a singer or a dancer. Okay. Acting is whatever, but I think a singer, to be Barbara Streisand would be incredible. To have a voice
the greatest voice ever, arguably.
Female voice. I mean, to me, Sinatra is right. But as a female, Barbara Streisand is just, and then she does acting and directing and everything else. So Barbara Streisand, and then I'm caught between, I love old movies and I love, to me, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers could dance anyone under the,
She was unbelievable.
So it would be Streisand or Ginger Rogers.
Okay.
That's mine.
Interesting. So as I think about this, here's the truth. As egomaniacal as this might sound, as self-absorbed as this might sound,
well, that's nothing.
There's nobody I would really want to be other than me. It's still a great challenge to be me.
Wow.
And I'm still trying to figure out how to be me on a consistent basis.
Wow.
So I'm pretty content with what God gave me to work with and not work with, because it's a constant challenge, because I do have lots of issues and flaws. And fight through it, and fairly successfully.
Wow.
But
that's interesting.
Then I think about who are my two biggest heroes in sports.
Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali.
Thank you. She got it. If we were on the Newlywed Game, she would have gone ding, ding.
Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
I would get that.
All right. So do I want to go back to being Michael Jordan in his prime? Sure. But I'd have to be Michael Jordan for his life. And
well, you don't want to be the other part.
Listen, after he retired, and then he tried to be the GM in Charlotte, it was not pretty.
No, but he also had a lot of, not alcoholic, but he did his dabbling of everything.
Yeah, he doesn't look great. And I don't think he's the happiest now, because
I know he's married.
I know, but you can't be him anymore. You can't be what you were, and you have to come to grips, even on the golf course, which is his passion. I'm sure he's losing some distance over time, and you're just not. But I think maybe
you can go back in time at a certain time.
Well, but if you could go back and be Michael Jordan at age 25 and stay 25 forever, that would work. We can do
whatever we want. This is like a hypothetical
I know, but that's
thing.
not what she's suggesting here. That's not the point. Wow. And Ali, my God, when he was Cassius Clay, and then in his dominant years in those fights,
incredible
with George Frazier, it was just like he was it to me. Yeah. Even in some ways, in personality, in aura, in fearlessness, in racial and social justice commentary, he took stands nobody had taken. Yeah. Okay. I want to be.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I want to be that guy. But then in later life, he took such punishment, I think, as it's never proven, that you develop Parkinson's and you live a not so great life down the stretch of your life until you pass away. I don't know.
I met him when he was later in life, when I did an event in Vegas, and he was very nice. But his wife was with him, and we were a bunch of girls working at the PR agency, and he came over and his wife said he loves the ladies, and he came over, but he could barely. I know, but he was not.
I understand.
He wasn't the Muhammad Ali of those years.
And speaking of loving the ladies, I have loved Mick Jagger from the start since my high school days.
How could you not?
Yeah,
I love Mick Jagger.
At one point, when I was in Dallas, the magazine in Dallas called D Magazine put me on the cover dressed as Mick Jagger performing because I had a line in a story that they wrote about me where the ultimate rush for me would be to have that microphone in my hand in front of 80,000 people, 100,000 people at the Cotton Bowl in those days when they played in Dallas, and have the audience literally in the palm of my hand.
Right.
And Mick has stood the test of time.
I just saw he was at the Oscars, the pre-Oscar party. Okay. Yeah, he looks amazing.
Okay, and they can still tour and play in his 80s.
Yes, so
okay, so that would work.
I would do that.
I'm just going to stick with me.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's a good one.
Comment from YouTube, YEWTube 2007. I could never be married. I could never watch that much television. Okay.
That's true. We don't watch that much television. He watches sports.
I do. But the truth is, YouTube, my greatest moments with her are all based on watching movies and series.
Well, we used to go to the movies a lot. We used to go to the movies a lot more.
We did.
Before COVID.
We did.
We would go to matinees, two matinees in one day. We went every weekend.
Okay. So watching things together that we share a love for
is fun.
And Saturday night, we had a lot of fun because we were so surprised by
Timothy.
Yeah, a complete unknown was a complete unknown to us, and all of a sudden, wow.
It was great. Yeah, and that was fun.
Hazel liked it too. She got into the music.
She loved it.
She said, Timothy Chalamet can sing way better than Dylan can sing. Okay, a comment from Tommy Cartesian, at Tommy Cartesian. Skip is royalty as a journalist and a sports media analyst.
That's so sweet.
Thank you for saying that, Tommy. But in this house, with her, and especially with her, I'm not treated like any kind of royalty.
Very sad. He's not treated like royalty.
I am the third wheel in this house.
There's no royal treatment here.
If you want royal I get it right between the eyes verbally from her on many occasions.
Stay with him if you want.
Thank you, Tommy.
Maybe Tommy wants a house guest.
Check in with me after the show.
And send the address.
Final comment from @Lawnmower37659. Sounds like a song, right?
Yeah, yes.
75, whatever that song was. Lawnmower 37659. Love when Skip does the Jim Halpert-like look at the audience as if to say Ernestine is the crazy one. LOL.
I like that.
We had to look this up because we don't watch The Office, so we watch a lot of television. She does?
She knew, yes.
Okay, and it's the character John Krasinski's character. Yeah. So I just don't know it, but it's one of these like
that's exactly like on the nose.
Yeah, way to go. Because she is the crazy one.
Yeah, right.
Hazel and I know what the real score is in this house. Yeah.
We won't bring that up.
We better end it there. That's it for round 14. I won again. We will see you next week. If we're still speaking, and that's up for debate.
Peace out. Stay well.